So thank you for joining us to learn a little bit more about our Unleash Your Inner Shaman program by Kelly Nealon of Lasting Light Wellness. I'd just like to share a little bit about what we do and who we are. So we've been in business for over 22 years and have taught over 8,500 students. We work with 8 types of Reiki, shamanism, reflexology, aromatherapy, hypnosis, past life regressions, and intuitive services. We help people transform. So we work with mental, physical, emotional, and energetic problems. These are the various ways you can contact us. We're on social media as well as all of the regular platforms. Feel free to connect, like, and join. Today, we're here to talk about our Unleash Our Inner Shaman class, which I also refer to as Shamanism 101. It'll teach you everything you need to know in order to get started with shamanism today. In addition to shamanism, we also teach all different levels of Reiki. We teach Karuna and Holy Fire Reiki, the latest versions, Egyptian Reiki, Andean shamanism, ancestral release technologies, reflexology, crystal healing, and aromatherapy. Check out our website and click like and send me more information on any of the classes that you're interested in. And as we launch new ones, we will send you information on them. Stay tuned to the end of this presentation so that you can receive special bonuses today if you'd like to join our latest class that we have coming in the fall. So I'm going to start out just talking a little bit about myself. So my name's Kelly Nealon, and some of the teachers that I've studied with, some of my favorite ones are Don Mariano and Don Claudio, as well as Don Teo in Peru. And I spent several years going back and forth to Peru, learning Andean shamanism and just being with the people and learning all kinds of really interesting, energetic things. So I'm like a lot of people. I started out in a very traditional realm in my life. My past life here, it almost seems like, is that I was a stockbroker, an IT analyst, and a college professor. So I came from a very logical, linear kind of background. And then when I had my own health healing crisis, it brought me into learning about yoga and Reiki and energy healing and finally shamanism and all of these traditional different types of healings that I've learned from indigenous peoples around the world. And I was able to heal myself, and I couldn't believe the healing that I received. So all I've wanted to do is just spread the word that there's other options out there for you and just share this information with everyone. So that's a little bit about my history and background coming into this. I'm going to go over a little bit about just what shamanism is, what it isn't. So shamanism has been around for probably over 100,000 years or more, according to most people who study these type of things. And it's just this very first body of knowledge that humans had on healing. And it focuses on healing being connected to spirit and being connected to everything around you. And at one point, every culture in the world had shamanic ceremonies being performed. We found evidence of this in tombs and carvings and all sorts of things. Then, when more modern religion and times came in, a lot of times these practices were either put out or forced way underground. So that's why we just don't hear about it as much. Now, shamanism, a lot of people think it's a religion. It's not. You're free to study whatever or take part in any religion that you want to. It's a spirituality and it's a form of healing. And we've found things going back in caves 37,000 years ago, Paleolithic ruins 100,000 years ago. We have all found evidence of shamanic ceremony and shamanic practices. Now, the word itself actually comes from the Tungus tribe in Siberia, and it means a spiritual healer or one who sees in the dark, is the literal translation for that. So, a shaman interacts with helping spirits in order to address the energetic and the spiritual sides of illness. One of my favorite quotes is from Michael Harner about shamanism, and it's just that it's not new age or mysterious. Like, it's actually, this is stone age. It's not new age. And the peoples of that time, they were living a hard life. If it didn't work, they would have stopped doing it. They wouldn't have spent their precious time and resources doing shamanic ceremonies if they weren't receiving benefits from them. So I like when he says, this isn't Stone Age, it's not New Age, it's time. This is tested. So I just like looking at it like that. I think it's a very powerful way to look at shamanism. It's been around for that we have evidence of at least 100,000 years, possibly even longer. And a lot of people ask, like, well, what's a modern shaman do these days? What does that even look like? So, what I do as part of being a shaman is that I perform sacred ceremonies, I perform journeys for clients, I help people get reconnected with lost aspects of themselves. I can also help people transition to a new phase in life, or if they have any troubling energy within them, I can also work on removing that. Other parts that I work with people is I do ceremonies for things like increasing abundance. I balance their energy body or their chakras. And my particular type of shaman, I'm two different types, but the one, my Papa Messiah Ook, ties me to being a community-based shaman. So a lot of my work is about wanting the community to be in harmony and to work together. The other part, I work in Shumpik ceremonies, which is um, a very specific type of shamanism that I'll kind of leave on the table for right now. But the most important thing is right now, as you know, we are going through a lot of transitions in this world. And we are calling all of the light workers that have been seeded to come into this lifetime and help with this transition to the new energy. And the earth needs more shamans now. We need as many shamans to come forward as we can. We need you present. And part of the Andean lineage that I'm a part of is this prophecy of the condor eagle prophecy. And so they specifically want us to teach people in this country about Andean shamanism. There is a prophecy that started that around the time of the 80s when the Andean ice caps started to melt some, it was a signal for them that they needed to join with their Western brothers and sisters and that they needed to teach their ways to them and that this was going to bring about an energy change in the whole world and connect us. So they are represented by the condors. They have hopefully we'll get some back too. I've heard there's a few in California or on the West Coast, but they're represented by the condor, and our country is represented by the eagle, and that's why it's called the condor eagle prophecy. So when a lot of people ask, like, should you be doing this? Is this okay for you to be teaching? Yes, they actually want us to be teaching this. So I spent a lot of time studying with them so that I could bring you this information and we can bring this to the world and bring more shamans in. So in shamanism, we believe that everything alive has spirit, and there are energetic cords connecting us all. So I've been in various times, I've been in shamanic states where I've actually been able to see these thin electric light cords connecting all of us. So I always say it's, kind of this big fallacy, like I'm going to get something over on somebody. I'm going to do that. Like we're all connected. Everything has a ripple, whether that's good or bad, that's going out there. We're not separate. And it's just kind of an illusion that we believe in all of this separation. So my type of shaman's role is to keep everything in harmony, in community and natural forces. And that's what we want to put out there. Some other things I help clients with is I can help people get unstuck. I work on their happiness. Sometimes they want to do ceremonies for new jobs, new careers. Sometimes they simply need to find themselves or their energy's blocked and their creativity stifled. They want to do offerings for opening a new business. They have prior traumas or emotional blocks they need to get over. Sometimes they have physical issues or phobias or things like that, things that need to be removed from them. So that's another type of work that I do with people. And some of the shamanic practices that are key to shamanism, one is journeying. And journeying means going into a trance state and being able to go into spiritual realms and have spiritual experiences. So, what I do is when I work in that realm, I can actually bring back spiritual gifts and gift them to the person. So, it's not that I'm just interacting with spirits in a trance like state. I'm actually can bring things back, move things, do things. I can, move things in more of a physical type of way. I also work on creating harmony with spiritual energies that could also include nature and animals and crystals. I perform divinations. I use sacred objects and tools, so you'll learn things about that using rattles and drums. We create rites of passage and ceremonies and rituals. And we also perform techniques of healing and empowerment for people as well. So, the shamanic view of illness is a little bit different than the Western version of illness. So, from a shamanic perspective, illness mainly comes from three sources: one, a loss of power; two, a loss of essence or soul splintering; and three, a negative energy or a spiritual blockage. So, I'm just going to talk about the three of those. So, a loss of power can be different for each person. So, some people, for instance, may lose a job and it is completely devastating to them. And they were completely wrapped up in their job. And this may lead to a depression or an illness, or just, you don't know what's going to come from such a big loss. Where another person could lose a job and it's unfortunate, but they'll go get another job. So if you encounter something that really is a big ding to who you are and it's really taken you down a notch and you're having trouble recovering from that, what I would do is typically do a journey or a ceremony to help restore that lost power. So that's one example of how we would treat that. Now, another one we work with is a loss of soul essence or soul splintering. So, this can happen during either like a sustained emotional or physical trauma. It could be something like an accident, a surgery, abuse, a disaster, a divorce, a death, something that really takes you off kilter. And when this happens, part of our soul can kind of disassociate for protection from the other parts of it. And typically what I would do is a soul retrieval ceremony. And this is an integration ceremony. I don't really love the name because it makes it sound like I went somewhere and oops, lost a piece of my soul there along the way. But what it really is that it's not communicating and it's not integrated with the other pieces of your soul. It did that, kind of like built a wall around itself. So I can bring back spiritual gifts and help reintegrate those pieces. I really wish it was called a soul integration ceremony, but everybody kind of knows it in this country as a soul retrieval ceremony. The next one is a negative energy or a spiritual blockage removal. And that's usually something that happens when somebody has had a significant loss of power. And when that happens, it could be that you're in a deep depression, there could be substance abuse issues. It's something that's really taken someone down a notch. And so that they are actually vulnerable enough to have something attached to them. A lot of times it attaches to a specific part of your body or a specific place, and it's sucking, draining your energy, or affecting you. So if this is the case, then we would do a removal ceremony in order to remove the negative energy or spirit, or if the trauma that you experienced created a blockage, we clear up that blockage in the body in order to take care of that. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about why I love shamanism so much. And I always say I was always searching. Like, I felt like I would go to certain healing events and whatever. I'm like, I think those people know the secret. Like, what's the next level up? What do I need to know next? And when I found shamanism, it answered a lot of my questions. And I just like that it really helps people to transform deeply from a very deep place. It teaches you how to make your own direct revelations. And another thing about it that really attracted me to shamanism was that I've been always taught by my teachers that, everything's energy. So there's more than one way that you can approach it. And in so many other healing methodologies that I've studied over the years, there was one way to do it. If you messed it up, you didn't do it the right way, nothing was going to happen. Where in shamanism, I'm going to teach you how to do ceremonies and things like that, but I'm also going to encourage you to use your own intuitive skills and act upon what you are given from your guides and bring it in to make it your own. So I really like that approach. I feel like it's a much more holistic and a well integrated approach than just telling people, like, I'm the only person that has the answers. You have to do it my exact way. And if you don't, you've completely messed it up. I feel like that disempowers people. So I really like the empowerment that is in shamanism and in the shamanic training that I give to people. I'm going to teach you just a couple words and a little bit about the Andean cosmology. So in the Andean cosmology, there's three different worlds. Now, even though there's three, it's in no way related to the Christian concept of like heaven, hell, and the present earth or any other religious backgrounds. It just happens to also be three. And these are the three places where we can journey or travel energetically in order to do work and fix things and get information. So there's an upper world called the Hunan Pacha. And this is the place with the angels and the higher spirits, believe in a higher power, all of that is there. This is a place I would go to journey to, visit the council of elders, visit my guides, visit my angels, and get information. Now, the middle world, that's where we are right here. This is the 3D earth. That's referred to as the Kai Pacha. And this is the place where we have the people, any spirits that haven't moved on that are here, animals, all the physical things that we have. The lower world is called the Ukapacha, and the Ukapacha exists below the Kai Pacha. And we don't look at this as negative. Like I said, this isn't a religious setup or anything. The lower world is actually where the shamans do a lot of work. So I go down to the lower world to meet my shaman tree, to connect with my power animals. I conduct a lot of ceremonies down there. I do a lot of collecting down there. I meet up with the important people down there. So the lower world, the Ukapacha, is where the shamans go to conduct many, many things. So when you hear people refer to the three levels and things like that in Andean shamanism, that's what they're referring to, the Hunan Pacha, the Kai Pacha, and the Ukapacha. We also look at having 7 sources of power in Andean shamanism, and all shamans are connected to these sources. The first one is representative of the sun, and we use fire and fire ceremonies. So I always say I always break in my new neighbors who move in around me as I'm outside drumming and going around my fire pit and conducting fire ceremonies. I tend to entertain a lot of the neighborhood here that way. So that's how we pull in the energy of the sun is through fire, which shamans look at as being very powerful and very transformative. So you can think of it like the phoenix that rises from the ashes. We look at fire as being transformational and to be able to change things. The other source of power is the earth itself, Pachamama, that holds so much energy in it. We work with Pachamama all the time. She's the one that supports us. Then we work with the wind, or the air. We work with that energy of the elements. We also work with water. We look at messengers in water, water carrying things away. We have ceremonies where we cleanse with water. So there's a lot of different ceremonies that we do with water. Then there are the animals, the physical animals or spirit animals that we're connected to. There's also plants. People don't realize this too, but in Andean shamanism, we have power plants. So we have power animals, we have power stones, we call kuyos, but we have power plants. And then stones or kuyos, probably one of my favorites, working with the crystals of the earth. And I do a lot of different work with them. You can use crystals for extraction, you can use crystals to elevate the energy on people. So these are the different 7 sources of power that we learn to work with within Andean shamanism. Now I'm going to go over just a little bit of an energy exercise this is something I can kind of tell you to do without you having to be a full-fledged shaman, just to give you an idea of some cleansing practices and some practices you could do on your own that we do within this. I'm going to introduce you to a couple of terms. So we talked about the luminous light body, and that for us is contained within the Wiracocha. The Wiracocha you can kind of think of is like the 8th chakra above your head, and a huge bubble around you out from that. Its translation means the source of the sacred. So you can think about it containing your aura and all of that type of energy surrounding your body in a 360 bubble if you were to put yourself in the middle of it. And our luminous light body contains the information or the template that creates our state of the physical body. So if there's a lot of junk in there, then, it comes into the body as disease. You can also think of this as a way of creating your own sacred personal space. You can open it in order to work on someone else's energy body. You can use this in a meditation. You can use it before bed to protect you before you go into dream time. You can also open your rear coach over a client if you feel like you need to put them in your sacred space in order to do so. Just make sure they don't have any attachments or anything before you do something like that. Know what you're doing for that last one. But these are different ways that we can use and open and manipulate with our luminous light body. So in order to open your Viracocha, remember eighth chakra above your head there and the bubble all around, I want you to just take a moment, you can close your eyes and just imagine a small bright sun about a foot above your head, a nice glowing warm sun. And then bring your hands into prayer pose just in front of your heart, thumbs into your sternum, picturing that giant, beautiful sun. I want you to raise your hands up above your head into prayer pose. And then I want to separate your palms. So your palms are kind of facing up. Bring your arms out to the side. So you're just making a giant circle with your arms and sweep them out to your side and kind of bend over just a teeny bit. Bring that all the way down to the floor. Good. And then I want you to take one of your hands and looking down at your navel, put your hand over your belly button and gently swirl your hands 3 times in a counterclockwise position, opening your navel or what we call the Cusco. And then I want you to visualize a giant golden egg or a giant robe protecting you. So after you've opened your own Viracocha, you can take time to just explore your own luminous light body. I want you to sense if there's any places that feel like they're weak or they're thread borne, or maybe there's even a hole. So how I'd like you to do this, and you can, if it helps you with this image, you can kind of imagine that you're sort of feeling out towards the edges of your aura. So I turn my palms facing out away from my body, and I start with my hands above my head. And I just take both of my hands and I just kind of weave them, just going back and forth, kind of almost like in a figure eight type of way. And I just go from my head and I kind of scoot down and I go all the way down to my feet and stop anywhere you feel like there's a hole or it's thread borne or there's some bulging, there's some issue there. And kind of just move your hands back and forth and up and down so that you're patching that area in. So you want to heal. So you just imagine sending positive energy into that place and weaving it so that it's nice and strong. And what I'd like you to do is take a few moments. You can pause this video if you need to. And I want you to very slowly rotate yourself around in a 360 and just slowly do that in every single section. Start above your head. Feel, weave, and sense. I like to do this with my eyes closed because I feel like I pick up better energetically what's going on, but you can do it with your eyes open if you tend to be a visual seer when you do your work. So just gently going around in a 360, head to toe, and then start back up at the head, go back down to the toes as you're rotating yourself around until you've hit your entire auric body. Just sending and healing and repairing any weak, bulging, thread-borne holes, whatever is going on there. Any places that you're sensing need energy, you can just ask for positive healing energy to fill in that space. Good. When you've taken time and you've completed this exercise, what you need to do is bend over like you're gathering up that cloak. Pick up the edges from your feet and pull it back up into your head. And as you slowly do that with your hands, picking it up, bringing the hands back up above your head into prayer pose, I want you just to send a little bit of energy to all of your 7 chakras as you do that. Just as you go through each one, the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Take as much time as you want to do that. Bring your hands back into prayer pose above your head. And then draw your hands back down into prayer pose, thumbs into your sternum in front of your heart. And that'll close your Viracocha back up. And use that exercise anytime you feel like you need to increase the energy and the protection around you. It's a wonderful exercise to do. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about why study shamanism. So, some of the reasons are beyond the fact that it's just a fantastic, majestic practice, is that you want to be more connected in your life. Like you're on a path, but you feel like you need more guidance and skills so you can do more with it. I always say if your instincts have led you here, there's a reason. Tune into that. And shamanism helps guide us back to a safe place, back home to Pachamama. And you have a lot of choices. I mean, imagine being able to change things in your life, do divination for yourself and things like that. Move past some of the big issues that you've had so you can just finally wake up with a feeling of peace and joy. And if you're tired of having to rely on other people for intuitive information, you want to be able to divinate for yourself. This is a great class to connect you even further. It connects you further with spirit. It's if you're ready to act on your life and you're seeking transformation and you really want to connect with your own inner power and you're really ready to do the work of the 4 directions to release the baggage. You'll want to learn how to journey. These skills will just last you a lifetime. And some people take this class just because they want to be able to do these things for themselves. Other people have a holistic business they want to add this to. So people take this class for many different reasons. And I'd like you to know that in this class, we are going to be traveling energetically to the 4 directions. And in each of those directions, you are going to create a medicine healing bundle from these 4 directions of travel. But what's really unique about this class is that we're going to be healing your own wounds, your own stuff, your own garbage in all of those directions. And as we heal those things, the tools and the items that we use in order to create that transformation are then going to be transformed in the process and they're going to become part of your healing bundle. So you can use those to heal others if you wish. So it's a really great class. It's not just telling you how to do this on someone else. You're going to experience this yourself. So if you're ready to let go of, your wounds from the past, you're interested in how to wield sacred objects, you want to work with your power animals or meet them if you haven't met them before. You want to learn how to work with the elements and the animals and the plants and the crystals and various power objects. This class really helps you move beyond your fear and limitations and learn how to work within a sacred circle. And if you want to receive all of these wonderful lessons and be able to perform these ceremonies, I guarantee you, you will have a transformation in your life. And it's really incredible to see what happens for people beyond when they take this class and where they take what they gained from this class and what they're able to do next in life. Like, I just love seeing people blossom. Some of the other things that we do in this class as well is we learn how to create ceremonies for creating harmony within the community. We learn how to be fully present when we've gotten rid of a lot of our garbage, and our traumas and things like that. It's just taking your existing healing abilities to the next level. And who doesn't want their own powerful medicine bundle that they can use for themselves or for others? So if you are interested in this, please check out our fall class. It is going to be a live in-person class in Columbia, Maryland. We also will have recorded sessions if you have to miss any of the classes for anything going on. And a little later this fall, we will also be launching a fully pre-recorded version of the class as well for those out of our area. So check out our website for that. I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But I always say, like, what are you waiting for? More time to pass? You want a whole nother year to go by? You want to be stuck in the same place for a whole nother year? I don't want to be, wishing that things will just magically change on their own. We know that won't happen. It takes some kind of action. So if you're really looking to transform yourself, find out, move past any fears or things like that, just go ahead. This is the best thing that you can possibly do. You don't want to put off transformation because I know you want to learn the secrets. I know you want to be different next year. And I know you want to unlock all the powers of the shaman within for you. If you want to learn more about us, we also have a great site if you'd like to look at any sacred objects or things like that, or call us. We have about 1,000 objects that haven't even hit the website yet, but there's many up there, so contact us. We can be reached here at lastinglightwellness.com if you have any questions about the shamanic training program. And I have a special bonus, as promised, for you guys today for listening to this presentation. So anybody that signs up for the shamanic training course being offered this fall by September 9th, I am going to gift you our brand new, not even released yet on the website yet, a new ancestral healing course that we have, allowing you to do an ancestral journey and travel back 7 generations and work on healing your stuff. So that's a really exciting bonus I'm going to offer to everybody. You can pay in one fee or you can sign up for installment payments. So just check out Lasting Light Wellness, go under classes and click on live, and you will see information on our class. The class and other deals we have going on. You can sign up for a new client special, use the QR code. We also teach several other classes. Check out our online academy, which a lot of classes are getting ready to launch in the next few months. So just sign to be notified when those classes launch. Again, this is how you can reach us. I hope to be seeing you in our next shamanic training class. Reach out with any of the questions you have and have a fantastic day.